Alright guys, so green screening in Photoshop used to be kind of difficult. At this point it's become incredibly easy. I've got this photo right here of me on the green screen, and you'll notice I made sure to pull out the green screen so I was standing on it just to make it a little bit easier to select my foot. I'm going to start by cropping this image by coming right here to the crop tool, which is also C on the keyboard. And I'm going to remove all the elements that aren't me or the green screen, just in case there's other people around or just stuff that you don't want in the photo. This will just make everything a little bit easier for us. Now, there's a few different ways you could go about this right now. One of them would be to select the color range, and that works when the green screen isn't wrinkled, but because of all the shadows on it, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. If we were working with a better green screen, color range is a great way to do it. Instead, we're just going to select the subject. So I'll click on photo, do all the work for us. So it's going to be thinking for a couple of minutes here. R is on a different screen right now, so you can see it. That didn't exist when I was in high school or college, and I wish it did, because really for simple edits and intro stuff, absolutely amazing. So it is all the way loaded now, and it selected me because that was all that was in the subject range. Now, I don't have a lot of hair, but if you do and you notice that it's going through the selection, or you'll notice like it missed part of my nose right here and that stuff, we can come up here to select again and go to select and mask. That. Give it a second to load up. And everywhere where it's red, it's going to remove the image. And everywhere where it's not, will be there. And you can change the view. So it could be black and white. Just view the background layers, marching ants. I like the overlay. You can pick a color. I'm going to increase the intensity a little bit just to make it more dramatic. Now right over here we have a bunch of brush tools that can help us select things. The brush has a plus and minus, which will add to the selection or remove from the selection. So I can just bring this brush, and I'm making it a little bit smaller using the bracket keys on the keyboard. Click on my nose and paint that back in. The other one that is absolutely amazing with hair is the Refine Edge tool. And this one, make it a little bit larger by clicking on the brackets, or I could do that by clicking on the brush right here. And I'm just going to paint my hair right around here. And what this will do is make your hair semi-transparent, and that will help it be slightly see-through when you put it onto a new environment. So I'll also do the same thing, shrink this down and paint this green area right here around my face, just to get rid of some of that highlighting. And if I was going to spend a lot of time with this, I would get my jacket as well. I would make sure to go around my body and fix all those areas that aren't quite perfect yet. On the sidebar here, we've got ways to shift the edges. We've got ways to smooth out the lines, to feather things, radius. Highly recommend checking all of those out, seeing what they do, how they select it. The more time you spend just trying to clean up these edges, the better your image will be. I'm just going to increase smoothness a little bit. I'm going to shift the edge in a little bit because I want less green. It's thinking right now. There we go. And then once it's all good, I'll hit OK to commit that. And Control 0 to shift back to being able to view everything. Now right down here, this little block with a square circle in it is add a mask. I'll do that. I'll add a mask. It'll hide everything else. And this is nice because it's non-destructive editing. So you'll notice this black and white square. in case I do find out like, oh, I'm looking at it and my hand's missing, I can open up the brush tool with B, and anywhere where I paint black, I'll disappear. Well, let me paint that back black. And anywhere where I paint white will show back up. So in case there is something missing, we can either paint it in white, as long as we're painting on this mask, or paint it in black to fix what's missing there. The other thing that I'd want to do here is come into adjustments after clicking on the picture, image adjustments, hue saturation, and you'll notice I have a little bit of green fringing. So I can come here to greens and desaturate those out. Just to remove that green, it'll make it gray instead. And that looks pretty good. The second part of what we're going to be doing now is going to this move tool and dropping us into one of our macro photos. So I'll drag me up. I've got one loaded here and drop me in. And now I'm running away from Jasmine's dinosaur. And if you hit Control T, you can resize things. So I'll be a little bit smaller than the dinosaur, running away. There's ways we can play with shadows and duplicate things. I'm not going to teach it right here, but if you're interested, there's a lot of great YouTube tutorials on it and a few different ways we could do it. Or I could even just copy that shadow, put it in. But for a short thing, that's all. Once we've got it there, let's go to File, Export, Quick Export as ping, save it somewhere you can find it, load it into your Lightroom as well, and turn that into the assignment. Good luck, guys.